Grant, I mean, first of all, we'll start with last weekend and get that out the way. You said you were going to have a debrief, as you normally do with every game. How did that go? What were the kind of players' feelings after the defeat to Morecambe?
Disappointed. All of us, we felt like we let everybody down. Myself, the players, we've let everyone down in the football club and the fans. So it was important to watch elements of our game that we felt at the time was not right, and getting it out of the way rather than letting it dwindle into the week. So it was important the players were honest and we were honest with the players, and since that meeting there's been almost like a reset button pressed, and we're looking forward to the next batch of games. So hopefully the boys can go and put a performance on tomorrow night, and hopefully forget about that one that we seen last week.
And I know you reflected on it after the game that the youngsters off the bench who came on and did well, but the starting 11. I mean, you look at that and you think, how on earth has that starting 11 lost 5-0? Did it really surprise you just by the players that are on the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those games where I knew it was going to be a really tough game. I knew they were strong at the top end of the pitch. The front four were good in transitions, and everything that we done, we just got wrong on the day. All of us included. It was just one of them days where nothing went for us. Every time they went forward, it felt like they were going to score. We didn't really threaten, apart from maybe a couple of chances in the first half with Mo and Owen Bailey, where we possibly should score, and we don't. So, yeah, it was a bad day, very, very bad day at the office. Like I say, we let people down, let everyone down, and that's been a real determination this week from myself and the staff and the players, is to make sure we can refocus everyone and go again.
And from the reaction that you've seen and what people have said to you, are you reassured that it's a one-off, that you're not going to see the likes of this again this season?
I hope so, yeah. I mean, it's nobody wants to see that again. Nobody wants to be a part of that again. So, again, it was a difficult day for everybody. Obviously, watching it back again is not great. It's actually worse when you see it back. So, we know we can't drop to anywhere near them stands. We're way below where I expect the football team to be in that game. Where previous to that, I think we've been on a decent enough run. So we need to get back on the horse, as they say, the old cliche, and try and get ourselves 3 points tomorrow night.
I know it's been a significant week off the pitch with a change of chairman. We spoke last week about the fact that you were due to meet, members of the board with Gavin Baldwin to look ahead to January. How did those discussions go? Did you get kind of reassurance that you are going to be able to do what you'd like to do in terms of strengthening the squad? Yeah,
I had a positive meeting with Gavin and Terry, and it was just discussions around the team, what we think we need to do. It's been tough because there's a big chunk of my budget that I've not been able to use because of injury, and it's really, really difficult. So it's it's managing around what we have and what we can bring in, but also what's available out there for some of our players. If these players do come in, what's available for them to go and play football? Because there's a lot to think about. We're actually ahead of steam on possibly one or two signings. So we're really pleased with the work that we've done so far. Like I said, we've been monitoring quite a few of our targets for the last 3 or 4 months. They know that, these players and their agents and the football clubs, because we've had lots of conversations with them. So I'm hoping that we can get some of our business done quite early in the window, because we need to hit the second half of the season in a good way and try and move forward on it.
I was going to say that with the players that you've got out at the minute, is there more of a necessity to try and get some of that business done soon, just with the numbers that are available right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, when you've got the injury list that we have, 4 or 5 players that probably won't see again this season, and then players that's just coming back, recovering, the likes of Bobby Faulkner, Adam Long, John Taylor, Richard Wood, James Maxwell, George Broadbent, Louis Marsh, they ain't too far away. But then, the likes of Cian and George Miller, Ravenhill, Lavery, possibly John Taylor. We'll see how he recovers, but there's players there might be a little bit longer. So it's important that we get the balance right. It's important we get the balance right, and we bring a bit more support and help in for the lads that's having to, go game after game after game without a rest, really, without almost coming out and to go again. So it's important we get the balance right.
You gave a bit of information about how the recruitment process at the club is changing and what you hope comes over the next few years. You mentioned David Rennie coming into the club. Can you kind of go into a little bit more detail about the kind of things and the ways that you're looking to change things from this January onwards and how that might look in reality?
Well, without me speaking about what's happened at the football club previously, I think what's important moving forward is any player comes into this football club, they are well checked in terms of everything about them, not just their medical or the history or the minutes they've played and the game time they've played, just everything. Where are they mentally? What are they like socially? Are they going to fit the way we want to play in the DNA? There's so much goes into it. So we've come up with creating these iBooks for these players. There's 7 or 8 pages in this iBook, and we know everything about them. And then it's passed on, if they come in and they buy into our culture, and we want to get to a point where we show them how we play and how we feel they'll fit into our team. And we're not far away with that. And then it's over to the physio department to make sure that they tick all the boxes in terms of a medical. So there's a lot goes into making sure we get these players that come in right. Obviously, like I always say, I'd give up on ability for character, for sure, and I think you've seen that with the players that we've brought in. I'm not saying they've got no ability, I'm saying the characteristics of them are really good on top of their ability. If you think of the Broadbents and the Baileys and Jack Seniors, Jamie Sterry, Nixons, Mo, they're real good characters, and that's what we want to try and do in January with the recruits that we do bring in.
I know you've listed a lot of short and longer term injuries. Grant, same question I gave you last week. Is there any good news ahead of the Bradford game? Have you got anybody back for it?
Yeah, we should have Ben Close back, which is a plus for us, and in fact a massive plus for us, because he's been in tremendous form, Ben, and what he's done this season has been really good. The way he can get on the ball and control the tempo is something we definitely missed last week, so he'll be huge for us going forward, and hopefully we can keep him fit. Obviously, look, it's nice that it's not nice, but he's missed one game. Hopefully now we can keep him flying. But apart from that, everyone else came through the game fine. Nothing else in the injury front to come back for this game apart from Closey.
And I know you mentioned George Broadbent as one of the latest injuries. What's the actual nature of his injury?
Well, he's going to take a bit of time. It's a calf injury that he's got. He's actually feeling better, George. Initially we thought maybe 5 to 6 weeks because of where the tear was, but he seems to be in a good place. We might be able to start pushing him quicker than expected. So we'll see how he goes.
Tyler Roberts, what's his situation at the minute? Is he injured, or was he just not involved last weekend?
Tyler's just a victim of the shape that we're playing at the minute. We brought him as a wide player. We brought him as a winger, him and Deji, to come in and to compete with Molyneux and Hursty. It just so happened that Hursty got injured in pre-season, as well as our fullbacks. So we had to be adaptive and adapt and change. And I think since we've gone into this system, it's something I've played anyway from the times at Hull and at Peterborough. I know the system. It's a system I like, and it's quite fluid in terms of how it works. So he's been a little bit a victim of the shape. If he plays in this system, he'd have to play as a wing back, and then the other side of the game is not really something Tyler's got yet in his game. He's more attacking. We tried him as a 9, and again, it's different for him. So that's all it is with him. He trains well every single day. He gets his head down and he works, and he's a good kid. Trains well all the time. It's just a victim of the shape, I would say.
Could he go back in January? Is that something potentially around the loanies that you've got that you're considering, just as you kind of work through the budget that you've got and the changes you'd like to make?
Them decisions, Adam, we'll keep in house until we actually make those decisions. So I'm not about to come on here and start telling you who's going where. I haven't even spoken to the players yet. So we have made decisions on what we want to do. Of course we have, but I don't think it's a time now to say it. We've got 4 games before then.
Yeah, certainly so. This game against Bradford on Friday night, Yorkshire derby, Christmas time, couple of great Christmas local fixtures coming up as well. Are these kind of ideal games now after what happened last weekend to really give you all something to look forward to and get your teeth into?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's going to be a good game. Obviously, Graham's gone in there and they've started to click. It seems his team hasn't changed for 3 or 4 games. He's found a nice balance and a nice blend, and obviously playing against Graham's teams over the years, it's always a difficult game, whatever club he's been at. So we expect no different. We expect it's going to be a physical game. It's going to have to be good on our duels, first contact, second balls, things like that. Making sure that we can run harder than them and quicker than them in the game will be a big thing. So I think it's going to be a good game. For us, we want to show a response from what we've shown, and the group has been really good at that. Too many times that we are having to respond. We want to try and get a bit more consistency in our game and in our play. So these are all things that, for me as a manager and my coaching staff are looking to try and improve this group all the time.
Somebody who's in the goals at the minute that you know quite well, Tyler Smith, 18-9. Is he starting to kind of show what you saw in him there, what Sheffield United saw in him initially? Yeah,
he's a good player, Tyler. I signed him twice, so he knows his strengths are getting in behind people and running behind. So, excuse me, he's a good finisher also. So it's hopefully he misses every shot he has on Friday night, and after that he can go on score as many goals as he wants. But look, he's a good kid, Tyler, and I'm sure he'll do well for Bradford.
In terms of training ahead of Boxing Day, does that depend on the nature of the performance on Friday night? Will people get Christmas Day off? What's the plan for the players?
We'll be off Christmas Day. I'm not one for bringing the team in on Christmas Day. I think it's an important time of the year. It's only one day where everybody gets a chance to spend the day with their family. After leading into this game and after the game, it's just relentless. There's going to be no days off for the players. The game's coming thick and fast. It's mainly recovering and playing again and recovering and playing again. So, but it's a busy period for us all. But we're looking forward to it. 4 really tough games in this period, right up until the 2nd, I think, of January. So, let's see how we go.
Great to see, though, within this busy period, Grant, that you and Richard Wood and other members of staff took time out to go to DRI and see people on the children's ward. I think it's a huge thing that football clubs get involved with, and a really important thing as well. What was that like as an experience?
Yeah, it's obviously nice to go there, and the amount of presence that came from sponsors, the football club, things like that. We had to leave them there. There was honestly the amount of presence that was there. There's so many presents, and it was nice to go around the wards. It's obviously tough, It's something that makes you think when you're driving back home in your car and you see those poor kids in there and their families sleeping in the same room as them. And yeah, it's not great, but what is good is showing a little bit of support to them. In times of need, and bringing a little bit of festive spirit to them, and hopefully put a few smiles on their faces. So yeah, but credit to the incredible workers at the hospitals, and particularly the children's hospitals, and the work they have to do to make sure that everything's good. So yeah, it was good to see all that side of it, but obviously not so good to see poorly young kids in there, particularly over Christmas.